but mathematicians describe it using an equation. But what does that mean? Let's take a look. This equation is one of the many ways to describe a line. Remember that m refers to the slope or the steepness of this line. B refers to the y-intercept, or where this line meets the y-axis. Well, what about x and y? X refers to how far we travel in the horizontal direction, while y refers to how far we travel in the vertical direction. So today, let's switch it up, and let's look at lines with a negative slope. Here is a line. Well, how can we describe this line using this equation? Let's start by finding the slope, or the value of m for this line. And we can do that by picking 2 points on the line. Let's pick 1 point here and 1 point here. Now, in order to find the slope, we have to find how far we must travel in the horizontal direction and in the vertical direction to get from this point to this point. So let's do that. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we travel 4 directions in the horizontal direction towards the positive x-axis. Well, how far do we travel in the vertical direction? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we move 8 units down towards the negative y-axis. Now, in order to calculate slope, we have to divide how far we traveled vertically, or the rise, by how far we traveled horizontally, or the run, like this. We ran 4 units towards the positive direction, but we fell 8 units towards the negative direction. This gives us a slope of negative 8 divided by 4, which we can simplify to negative 2. Now, we know the slope, but what about the y-intercept? Well, the y-intercept is simply where the line meets the y-axis. We can see that it does that at this point. So the y-intercept of this line is negative 3. Now, let's put it all together. This gives us an equation. Y is equal to negative 2x minus 3. which is one of the many ways to describe this line. Now let's look at another example. Here is another line. How can we describe this line using this equation? Again, let's start by finding the slope. And we can do that by picking 2 points on the line. Let's pick 1 point here. And let's pick 1 point here. How far do we travel horizontally and vertically to get from this point to this point? Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we run 6 units towards the positive x-axis. Now how far do we travel vertically? 1, 2, 3, 4. So we fall 4 units towards the negative y-axis. So what's the slope? This gives us a slope of -4 divided by 6. Since we rise 4 units in the negative direction and we run 6 units in the positive direction, we can also simplify this as -2 upon 3, or -2/3. But what about the y-intercept? As you can see, this line meets the y-axis at the origin. So the y-intercept of this line is 0. Now let's put it all together. This gives us an equation. Y is equal to -2/3 x plus 0, which is one of the many ways to describe this line.